In a world crying out for Thunderdome. The fans have spoken. 2 films enter, 1 film leaves. The top 10 gives you a reckoning by the name of Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Brought to you by the Schmoes Know Network. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Thunderdome. Although I don't think we should be talking. It's a silent movie. We should just be putting up like signs in white letters against black background to talk about this movie today. We're talking about Metropolis. We were given 2 choices, or you guys there are 2 choices were put out there: Metropolis versus Gold Rush. I thought for sure Gold Rush was going to win because people love Charlie Chaplin so much, but Metropolis ran away with this thing. So I don't know offhand who was doing the topic.
I'm trying to pull it up now, but I'm not getting any real reception. I know Eric Grebner came up with. I posted it, and he was the winner of the top 2, the top tier of getting to choose what we were going to do, whether it's Thunder or Blunder, and then what the genre is going to be.
Yeah,
and as if he had it like just cocked and loaded and ready. As soon as I posted that, I'm not kidding, I got a notification instantly from Facebook. Boom, Thunderdome silent films. So wow, that's the quickest of all time,
right? Hands
down. Nobody has gotten back that. Just happened to be on Facebook. Just serendipity for him.
Yeah.
And he said, I've been waiting for this for a long time to do a topic like this. I'm like, okay, we've never had. We brought up silent director, actor before when we did actor director way back when, and I know we talked about Chaplin and Buster Keaton.
Right. Well, here are the 2 people: Claiborne Williams again.
Claiborne Williams,
yeah, and Brian Safferny. These were the choice. These were the 2 people.
Oh yeah,
competing.
Claiborne had the Gold Rush, and Safferny had Metropolis.
Well, congratulations, Safferny. You won. It was not even close on the Facebook poll. At least 96 to 29.
I think
Metropolis.
it was closer on Patreon itself, and then on Twitter, it was also a runaway for Metropolis.
Okay, well, there we go. So that's the film we're going to talk about. For those of you who want to donate, you can go to our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/the top 10 to see the tier. I think it's $25 tier to do the Thunderdome, or $20 tier?
$20 tier.
$20 tier to do Thunderdome. And you can get selected. We do the random thing every couple of weeks. The random video, Matt does it.
Numbers for that are still low. It's only like 15 people, 16 people right now in the drawing. Or no, actually, we also add the Boss Hog level, so it's like 25.
Right.
But it's not crazy to where, because we've had some repeats, but
we have Alexakos,
Alexakos and Safferny.
Oh, Safferny,
he had a Thunderdome once in the past, but at the same time, like the past 2 weeks, we also had 2 new people who've never won.
Right,
and it's luck of the draw, and just I hit a random number sequence, boom, that's what comes up, that's who wins. We're not trying to play favorites at all. So if you want to jump in, you've got decent enough chances. It should hold.
Yeah,
I'd imagine, just because there's still new people joining each month, and we seem to be getting a bunch of those.
Yeah.
That's my hope. I want to spread the love around. It's cool that like Safferny's had it once before.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it to be all 3 people. And so much so that it happened on back-to-back weeks where the majority were people that won before, and they were even nice enough to go, maybe you should run it again and have somebody else win instead of my number.
Yeah, I'd like you to do that. If you're a person who's donated and you've won already and you were satisfied with winning, please cede it off to someone who hasn't won before.
And if you lost the vote last time and you want to try your hand again and win the poll and don't want to give up your option, then so be it.
Yeah.
But it was cool that people offered to do that. And we've never done silent films, so we had a text exchange to be like, oh, this would be interesting because we've never actually sat down and watched a silent film and discussed it on the show.
It's true.
This is the first time for us.
Yeah.
So, we're breaking our cherry on that. Thank you very much, Eric Grebner. I don't know if we would ever, I'm sure we'd eventually do a top 10 silent films.
Sure. I don't know if I've got 10
I don't have 10.
I'd have to do
I'd
a
never
lot
seen
of work
Metropolis before this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen bits and pieces. I knew the visual images, the iconography, the the Art Deco-ish, but semi-futuristic of it. And it's set in, 2026 or something?
Yes.
I think I saw that online, which is not too far away.
No.
That a Tower of Babel will rise, and we will all be under this capitalistic ruling. Very like socialist / communist underpinnings to this whole movie.
Well, it's interesting because Hitler or Goebbels said this is one of his favorite films.
Goebbels?
Is it Goebbels?
Yeah.
I thought it was Goebbels.
Joseph Goebbels?
Yeah, it was spelled Goebbels, but I thought it was pronounced Goebbels.
Oh,
you're the history guy.
I don't know. I just know it from books and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know the dude. So.
Okay. I hope you don't know that.
It could be.
But
I'm of German descent, but I don't speak German.
There we go. Well, he told Fritz Lang that it was one of his favorite films, and Fritz freaked out. His wife initially was sympathetic to the Nazi Party when it first started, but then when they saw what was happening to Germany as Hitler was coming into power more and more, they fled. Yeah. And he ended up in France first, and then in America. And so and he had always spoke against the Nazis. He's Jewish. Fritz Lang was Jewish, and he pushed against the idea that they liked his film. He always felt terrible about it, that these people used it to a degree to influence how they did their rallies, how they did their presentations, and how they pushed the idea of socialism through what Fritz Lang was trying to say in the movie. This idea of having too much distance between the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, and these people's lives are just subjugated to toil to make a veritable Eden for a select few.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the movie opens with that right there, where they're literally prancing around with almost fairies, like in this garden of, just like a ridiculous painting come to life. Yeah. And then the woman waltzes in with all the children. Yeah. And the son, Frieder?
Yeah, Freder or something like that.
Freder, and then the dad is Fredersen.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Or maybe that's that the last name?
Well, yeah, it's the last name. Freder is the last name.
So it's Fredersen?
It's Yo, and I can't remember the son's name, but it's that as well.
I think
Yo
it's just I believe it's just a shortened version. It's just
is it?
Freder.
Oh, okay.
Freder.
Yeah, no, Joe Fredersen is the dad.
Okay.
And Frater is Joe Fredersen's son. So it's Fredersen.
Fredersen.
Okay, sure. Interesting.
Yeah, John Johnson.
Yeah, that's right, John Johnson.
Perfect.
Steve Stevens.
Easy.
Yeah, that's right.
Great monogram.
True. So yeah.
It opens, and it's it's a class struggle. It's someone existing within a world that they think is idyllic. Yeah. And they see what it takes to create their world. He does the switch places with a worker eventually. And
who looks like him. The same actor. And so do the twin type situation. Yeah. Oh, no, it looks like him, right? You're right. It looks like him. Not 100% him.
No, but
he's not playing both roles, but it looks like him.
You put enough pancake makeup on an average white German dude, there's a good chance they're going to look somewhat similar. I mean, but at the same time, like the guy that played the dad and the son did kind of look like dad and son.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But when what I really enjoyed about it in a lot of ways are the set pieces and the visual imagery that it's pretty impressive that he could bring something like that to life early on, like with the machine, and it's got like, what is it, 4 rows of 4, or 2 main rows actually, but it's split in the middle by a staircase of people working this huge machine, and eventually the guy hallucinates and it becomes the Tower of Babel, and but he sees that this is just a human meat grinder, and it's all churning out for his dad's vision of it, but it's easy to sit on the top of all of this and not take into account the damage that you're doing down below.
Right. And that's what it is, his exploration or his descent into hell to try to understand what's happening to what his dad has wrought onto the earth, and what the price of his what you would, I guess, classify as spoiled rich life is costing people, and what it has to do. And so he wants to stop it from happening, and he wants to he gets inspired by seeing that woman Maria, and of course he's off in the initially in the gardens chasing another woman, and then he sees Maria come in with the kids and the poor kids, and he's just immediately smitten. He immediately wants to know who she is. What's this all about? That's what begins his exploration. Then we sees where she is and where she works at, and what she's connected to in the city of workers and underneath. And so he goes on this whole journey because he wants to find out what the situation. And his father is so against it that he is like even more inspired to find out what's happening here and exploring what's happening, because he can't understand why his father is so dismissive of the people who work for him, and like he fires that dude, and the dude the son runs out to stop the dude from killing himself. Yeah, he's gonna kill. He has a gun to his head, and he's gonna kill himself. And the son stops him and says, "Don't do this. Like, help me figure this whole thing out. Help me find out what's happening below. I want to know all this kind of stuff." And,
how can a system like this exist?
Yeah,
what is going on that is allowing him the opportunity to have this happen to other individuals?
Yeah,
and why? What's the point?
Yeah.
Just because you have a vision, you have an idea of where the city is and trying to raise humanity? Well, you're not. You're destroying humanity on some level just for your own ideals. I'm amazed that the director was amazed by the fact that Goebbels enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
Because it's just an easy, over-the-top, like almost propagandist version of what capitalism is.
Yeah.
And if that's what capitalism truly is, then no person would want that as their system of government.
Right.
Or at least the driving motivation
Yeah.
of their government. I mean, technically we're not, but we're capitalist and democratic, which at times can be incongruent. Especially when the capitalism wins, just like the will of the corporation is more important than the individuals that make up the civilization.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know when this happened. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure.
It's when the Supreme Court recognized corporations as individuals, and they can start donating campaigns and whatnot and be like, oh, well, that's ridiculous, right? That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a documentary that came out years ago called Corporation. And they're like, all right, well, if we're going to treat, a corporation is equivalent to a human, well, let's look at the psychological makeup of what a corporation does. It ends up being a psychopath or a sociopath.
Oh, wow.
It has all the character traits of a sociopath.
That makes sense.
I believe that's what it is, but it's something along those lines, or it's not a serial killer, but it's like that. It's the other end of the spectrum where someone is so focused and narcissistic and centered on self to the behest of everyone or everything around them, the environment, other individuals, other businesses.
Well, it certainly makes sense to me.
It does. Yeah. It does. But anyway, back to this movie. It's definitely not communist propaganda. So it's an interesting exploration, especially in early silent films, because for the most part, outside of like The Dictator, they're just kind of meant to be fun romps.
Yeah.
To distract people from the doldrums of their day.
Right.
And this is early elevation of the art form to be saying that, no, we can do more than that. We can actually tell a profound story and something that makes you question the reality around you or the status quo.
And how easily you can be influenced by groupthink and caught up in this whole idea to almost cut off your nose to spite your face. Near the end of the movie when whatever the Thin Man or whatever that guy is who's the inventor who turns Maria's consciousness puts it in the
robot.
The robot. You see
he steals her likeness.
Yeah.
Does he put her consciousness in it? Well, I thought it was just he stole
maybe he
her
steals
likeness and then everybody follows her, but she's taking him down a disastrous path that only helps Frederson.
Right.
And that's the whole plan, and then ultimately...
Yeah.
What's funny about it is watching it, having never seen this, when people make fun of the over-the-top nature of silent films, like I've mainly seen just comedies.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's, for like hyperbole to help sell a joke or whatnot. Right. But within this, it was every... like silent movie over the top acting trope, and I'm like, so everybody was kind of really referencing this. In a lot of ways. Like, I love it when the inventor goes down into the catacombs after Maria the first time, and she literally just keeps running into the wall and turning back to the camera, and it is so over the top, and she just keeps doing it, zigzagging and hitting every wall down this pathway. It's great to watch to see something that's been lampooned, and it's not because it's bad, it's because it's iconic. It's because everybody knows it, and sometimes you need something easy to latch onto to help tell a bigger joke or tell a more complex joke, just like it's easy to get through. But that over and over, like when Freder sees the machinery underneath and he falls down, and he does it in this very stylistic pose, and he's doing that over and over. He buries his forehead in his fists. It was just so interesting to see. It was like, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
When I've seen that made fun of or seen that lampooned.
I mean, when he confronts the inventor, like of the Maria robot, like he is so close to his face, literally millimeters away from his face, when he's like, And he's like, "Oh, I swear this is. I sent her to be with your dad." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, so legitimate, like he's almost inside the dude's clothes. He's so close to the guy, and it's so intense to see this happening, you know. But because the whole thing was consistent in how people acted, I didn't feel anyone was overacting because everyone was doing it.
Oh yeah,
how can you overact if everyone's doing the same thing in the movie? So
yeah, it's just modernized looking back at it.
Yeah.
That's clearly what the director had in mind as a vision, because he thought, you know, this is a new medium.
Yeah,
so we need to be able to sell all these different emotions to an audience that is unconditioned to being able to register that.
Yeah.
Or they didn't know if they would be able to register, oh, he's scared in the scene or sad or whatever the case is.
Right.
So if we give it to him vaudevillian over-the-top style,
or
Punch and Judy style or something, whatever the case is, Shakespearean, it'll better translate to an audience watching it.
Yeah.
It just there are certain points where just like the first time Friederson and the inventor are talking.
Yeah.
And the inventor is just manic.
Yeah.
Manic over the top, and then split second turns on the dime to the solemn, do you want to see the robot that I made? And I was like, wow, that is a hell of a transition. But the tone of the scene to come after fits why his shift in tonality.
Right.
And there's, you know, I guess, you know, at that time, the subtlety of actually just transitioning the character didn't make as much sense as I need to dramatically set up, like, here's the tonality here, and it shifts entirely because we need to show that this is his, former wife that has since died, but the inventor was in love with.
Yeah.
So he brought it back as this corruption of who the woman was and the ideals or the idea of what a person is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, right now it is a mechanized underbelly for the purposes of this one individual. Now to take what one individual loved and turn it into the thing that he doesn't even want to look at,
right?
Which is the machine under which he lives.
Yeah. It's intense, but I mean, she leads this revolution later on in the film. They're going to destroy the machines. They're going to destroy the machines. They're going to destroy the things that enslave them, in essence, to do these kinds of jobs and blah blah blah. And she, like, they go crazy, the public, you know. Yeah. And she, in the church, she does this big acting as well, with the whole talking to one side, then talking to the other side, then talking to the other side, and it's just so powerful how she does that. And then they all get caught up in it, you know. They all get led into this situation because, in a way, the film is kind of saying that too. It's like you have to be careful who you follow. You have to be careful who inspires you, where they're going to take you, because it could be something really terrible, you know. And so
you need to ask questions and not just take everything at face value.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a 2.5 hour film, Matt. This is the cut I saw was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, mine was 2:33 or something.
2:33. It's madness. So much happens within the movie.
I looked it up online. They said they actually made cuts to it.
What?
It was longer.
What?
And they had to have them cut out. What? I don't know. Because I didn't know anything about this other than like a couple like images in my head, and I've seen the robot like when she first walks. The first time you see that as an audience, which I saw.
Great design.
Like, oh, okay. I've seen this scene before.
Yeah,
at least this section of this scene. I've only seen like very short clips,
right?
And mostly just kind of like the noirish Art Deco type of style to the film, and that's what I know of it. Which
was the German style with Caligari and all, you know, the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So there's so much about it that's very much of the times in there.
Yeah,
so.
And Art Deco to this day still resonates. But there was also like a movement within artists like Gustav Klimt.
Oh yeah,
Art Deco-ish, and that it reminds me of him, and I'm sure he informed that movie as well.
Yeah.
Paper towels in there. I spilled a tiny little bit of my leftover coffee.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's quarter size or Susan B. Anthony size.
Well, I guess I'll vamp for a little bit on this film. I remember us missing this question on the Schmoedown, the tag team match, with the choices with 1927 and 1929, and we went with 29. We were wrong, but I had a feeling it was 27, so it was nice to kind of watch this film and remember that it was 27 when I looked it up on IMDb. I was like, oh, see, we were right. We should just have gone with that. But it is 2.5 hours, but I actually wasn't bored, which I was really surprised by for a silent movie.
I wish I could say that.
Yeah, I know.
I wish I could say that.
I know we were saying off mic that you were bored as you were watching it, but I think the score was really well done.
The score was excellent.
Right?
The score was excellent.
Keeps me in the movie.
Yeah, and then I understand all the arguments of why it was important. Like, I got it watching it, but it just like, because the pacing is for a people of a different time that weren't as used to watching moving pictures.
Yeah.
They have to kind of slowly move through the story, and it points as like this is a glacial pace. But you take it in under advisement as you're watching it because it's part of the overall. But it was 90 years ago.
Yeah.
91 years ago.
Yeah.
That is a crazy long time. And kudos to the directors for making something that two assholes are talking about 91 years later.
It's true.
And still will, as long as people, care about cinema. The silent era was a short era, and this is, one of the most well-regarded and talked about films. So good for him because he made something that is probably going to be fairly timeless.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it also says something about relationships too. This whole idea of how he gets so caught up and pursues over this one night. He pursues Maria and all this kind of jazz, but he doesn't really know Maria, right? He just created this idea of just having seen her. He becomes inspired by her to go and do all these kinds of things, whereas the robot Maria inspires destructiveness and evil stuff. The actual Maria inspires, Frater to question his place in society, question how he's able to live high off the hog at these people's expenses, and I think is the impetus for him to explore this world and what it really means, And so some people might complain, oh, they made the woman evil because she's a robot, but by the same token, the other woman is incredibly nice, which balances out, and she's caring and she's loving, and she's being taken advantage of when that inventor or professor, whatever you want to say his name, traps her. He straps her down and then kind of uses her consciousness or whatever he takes out of there to put in Maria, the robot Maria. It's just he uses whatever he's got there to turn her into that, and that's insane.
Yeah, and it's like any horror movie or it takes the idea of something in this regard, capitalism, and shows the worst side of it. Yeah. Whereas if it is left unchecked. This is what can do. It's just like anything. Too much of anything is not good.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is. So whether it's just free market capitalism or socialism or communism or anything just left unchecked, absolute power corrupts. Yeah. Or corrupts absolutely.
Yes.
So it's a cautionary tale too of be careful what you wish for. You're going down a path, and that path could lead to a place that you never intended it to. Yeah. So at least be wary of the road signs.
Yeah.
So
try to pay attention.
Yeah, take a detour if you think you're heading down Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And it's good to start telling people that, question your reality, question why a certain thing is the way it is. Yep. What is it? Voltaire is you can quote is basically you can figure out who the ruling class is by who you can't criticize.
Oh,
it's that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Because whoever that is off limits, and why are they free of any criticism? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Why we're all flawed. Right. Why are you held up to be this perfect, thing?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Between this and The Dictator, and I'm sure there are other silent movies that did this at the time, but it was the rare exception just because it was so new. And this is the first. I mean, how long were silent films around? 10 years, 12 years, 14 years?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
But it was the early to mid 1920s, was it not?
Yeah. When what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Not 1920s. 1930s.
Yeah.
When talkies started coming in.
Yes, with Al Jolson and the jazz singer.
Yeah. So it wasn't too far after. They were around for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's understandable where you would make something broad like a comedy, but the fact that a movie like this was so big at the time and is still resonant is. Yeah. Once again, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how much people still revere this movie and still talk about this movie. So to have it win the way it did, I was just kind of blown away. I thought people would vote for the Chaplin thing. It's Chaplin. I thought for sure. But then they went on this boat. And
see, between the two,
and this kind of stuff.
Metropolis has a name versus Gold Rush. I don't know that it's not a Dictator. It's not a...
No.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have a name. But
it is considered his best film.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think if you showed someone a scene versus a scene from Metropolis, they might pick Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That Chaplin movie's great. Right. They just might not know the name. Because there's a bunch of Buster Keaton. I have to go back and specifically read the name and be like, oh, yeah, that's the scene in blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Harold Lloyd, too. There's we curated a collection one time when I was working at my old job testing DVDs, and I was in charge of that project for Harold Lloyd stuff. He was coming out with all his films in one, compilation.
Okay.
And and he transitioned into talkies, from silent into talkies, and it really worked for him. So it's fascinating to watch. We had to watch every single one of those films and make sure the streams were right and everything like that. But you could get the scenes confused. Absolutely. From what film is this from? The only film that's distinctly its own, I think, is The Freshman that he did, because it's all set football. It's all set in college. All
True.
Kind of stuff, but it's not like out in a city or something like that where you see him like escaping manhole covers or whatever and getting involved with roller skates and things of that nature. So there was so much of that in what he was doing. So yeah, I understand you can get like lost in what movies is. You say Metropolis, you know what it means.
Yeah, there is only one Metropolis, whereas, with Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton or whatnot, they did so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else this director did. I didn't look it up.
Fritz Lang?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did M. Remember? Have you ever seen M, the Peter Lorre one?
Yeah.
That's an unsettling film, yeah. Well, the other thing, too, with what's interesting about it is Siegel and Schuster were influenced by the film to name Metropolis in Superman.
I know that it has long-lasting impact on popular culture.
Yeah.
And most people are more than likely unaware of that.
Yeah.
I'd only heard that a couple of years ago because I hadn't seen the movie and just like, oh, okay. Yeah. I assumed like Metropolis, maybe that's what they just called, like that was a stand-in for the name of New York on some level.
Oh, right, yeah.
Kind of like, the Windy City kind of thing, or the Big Apple.
Big Apple, yeah.
Windy City's obviously Chicago, but to know that eventually it's like, oh, no, they stole like a lot of the ideas, went into the building of the character of Superman and the Art Deco style and that's interesting.
From the initial creation. Yeah, exactly. So much about this film, too, that is interesting to explore. It was $200 million budget, adjusted for inflation, for nowadays.
Shut up.
$200 million, almost sank the studio.
How much was it in the day of the time?
Let me see here. What is it? Hold on. 5 million Reichsmarks at the time. Which in
1929?
Yeah, which ran around $200 million as of June of 2007. So it probably was more than $200 million by the time 2018 rolls around. 11 years later, and money, the transfer, whatever.
Oh, yeah. After they lose World War I and the hyperinflation, he should have made it then.
Yeah.
With the amount of hyperinflation, you're using Reichsmarks for toilet paper because...
Yeah.
You'd have to take wheelbarrows to the store just to buy bread. And that's not an exaggeration.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like what happened, what was it, Zimbabwe, where their currency inflated? You get like a $1 trillion note that was practically worthless or something.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I know it was an African nation. Oh, by the way, I said something in passing about swine flu.
Oh,
last week on the regular show. And somebody from Israel, because I said in Israel it's called the Mexican flu, was like, I lived here and it was not called that. So I don't know what I saw online. Or I think I actually heard that from a friend, and it's a friend that usually is like, me for the most part. It's like, they read, and you hear a fact from them, it scuttles itself away. Maybe now somebody will read that and be like, whoever that was is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
I live in Tel Aviv, and we all called it the Mexican flu. I don't know, but that's what I just saw that. I think it was on YouTube. It was the first time I looked at comments in a while.
Oh, wow. Well, he has a shit ton of extras, man. It's like 500,000 extras. That's 37,000 extras. Sorry, 37,000 extras in a film. And it shot it for a year and a half.
You can tell, because of the set pieces and
it's incredible.
Early on, when he has that hallucination on the 2 rows, and they're separated into basically 4 quadrants, and they're all doing a consistent pattern, but they're doing it out of sequence with one another.
Yeah.
But there is an overall sequence within that, and be like, okay, you had to get the choreography of that right, and then when it changes into the hallucination, like the set pieces are gorgeous.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The film is gorgeous.
Yeah, for 19, I can tell 200 million. I believe it because in my head I was like, I wonder if this is just a matte painting, like they did for say Dick Tracy when he was trying to create the illusion of the comic strip come to life. Warren Beatty was. Where you can shoot, and there's only a small portion of the frame that's actually live action. It's a matte painting, is the rest of it. I just assumed, but then there are other aspects of like, I don't think that's a matte. I think that's a set.
Yeah,
I didn't know the budget was that crazy high. Yeah. Well, it really shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what's so incredible about the time at the time that it was made, that you could pitch this to a studio and get that much on the budget. It's madness. Yeah, so. It's fascinating in the way it goes through. I love this idea of the robot woman. I love this idea that she is the design of her is. I mean, it looks very much like Ultraman, the old Japanese fighter, right?
Oh, great call.
Right? Don't you think it has shades of Ultraman in the look?
It does. Does Ultraman predate? Because Ultraman's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but I think this was before Ultraman. I would imagine.
Look, Ultraman's. I mean.
Yeah.
In my head, I could be wrong, but I want to say it's probably like 1930s or 40s.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been around.
Yeah, for a while.
Right,
and Lucas used this as a basis for C-3PO, the design of C-3PO as well.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, so there's a lot to speak about. Oh, there's a lot that sells this film. If you've never seen it, it's certainly one that I would recommend you go back and take a look at if you're
just know
any kind of cinephile.
The pacing, at least for me, was a little slow.
Yeah, sure.
A little plodding.
Well, I think it could be for any silent film you can run into that problem, but it's certainly it's certainly one that I think there's a reason people talk about it. I think there's a reason people still like this movie.
Yeah.
If you catch it at the right time and make sure you're very, very awake and you have 2.5 hours in the afternoon to watch it, I think you might have a chance at enjoying this.
Yeah, the closed captioning on mine was coming up before the title cards. So that was the other thing too. By the time the title card came up, it's like I already know it says that. Let's move on. That's another thing. Is just like the closed captioning made it seem even slower. Had they just taken the title cards out and just had everything closed captioned, that would have moved it along for me as a viewer. It's just like usually there's comedy going on for me in a silent movie. I would say outside of this, I don't know of another drama. Technically, I've seen in silent film. The rest are all Chaplins and Buster Keatons and other random comedies here and there.
It's a good point.
So I'm used to there's some kinetic force within the frame to entertain me as I'm watching this, as opposed to the drama of it being played out.
Well, the Passion of Joan of Arc, which they discovered recently.
I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a drama one. Or the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is a nice horror silent film as well. So there are some of them. No, Nosferatu, absolutely.
Yeah, but I've never seen that the whole way through. I've seen the super creepy, terrible parts.
Fuck all that noise, man. That's the one film that scared the shit out of me when I was 7 years old. Never again. Madness. All right. I don't know what else we can talk about, dude. I mean, we've talked about the film pretty.
No, thanks for
really
throwing it out of the box. Yeah. I like that about Thunderdome, because it could be just, the Hall of Famers, so to speak, where it's like Spielberg, Tom Cruise, this, over and over, and you guys are mixing it up. You're throwing change-ups, 80s classics.
Yeah.
A week ago or 2 weeks ago. 2 bona fide 80s classics. One specifically, very much an 80s classic. You were lost in thought on the laptop and not defending your actual opinion.
What was it?
Doesn't matter.
No, I want to defend it.
But the nice thing about Thunderdome is you guys keep changing it up on us because we don't know what's coming either, too. That's kind of fun. It's a little mix and match, I wonder what this is going to be. Oh,
you mentioned the Goonies. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
An absolute classic.
I got through it.
You're a gentleman. You sat down and watched it.
God bless. Bridget Helm, who is the Maria girl in this movie, is one last thing. She was the original choice for Bride of Frankenstein. Frank Whale wanted her, but she would not come to America. She refused to come to America.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
She stopped acting in 1936. Didn't act again until 1978 in a short. And then she died when she was 90. So I think she's incredible in this movie. And I know everyone else is dancing around doing their things, but her ability to kind of close one eye and open the other is really incredible.
Yeah.
And then also be this very sweet other side of herself. So this is a really well done acting job to portray both of these roles so effectively like she does. So she deserves a lot of credit for what she's doing in this film. It's all, the histrionics and all that. But once you strip it down, there's still some truth to her performance that I think is interesting to watch in this silent film.
Yeah. I would say genuinely the performances are good.
Yeah. It's just the style that.
The style and the choice, and you just have to understand that it's kind of hard to relay all the emotional range to people that aren't used to seeing that in cinema. Yeah, so
absolutely.
But thank you to Eric Grebner and Claiborne Williams and Brian Safferny for suggesting the topic and picking the 2 movies. Is awesome. Like John said, if you want to be a part of Thunderdome, you can go to patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. And you can join us for the voting on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/the Top 10 Show. And please, because I get notifications, as I'm sure you do, that people still continue to join our original Facebook group.
Yeah.
And just be like, come on over to the page.
Yeah.
Because trust me, there is a billion times more fun and interesting stuff happening over there. People are putting up great ideas.
Yeah.
And, found out about a fan, Adam, that him and another girl, or woman rather, named Anna, worked on a movie called, was it Saving Vincent?
Yes.
That is nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
And, we're going to give you a proper shout out on an upcoming show.
We will.
And
some love.
Yeah, but we didn't, they had contacted us on Twitter, but we hadn't heard from them, at least in that subject for a while.
Yeah.
And they let us know over there. And people are bringing up all kinds of stuff, and then they're doing it on their own. Hey, what are your guys' top 10 for this? Or I saw this. I saw someone giving away free codes to downloadable movies.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. Right over Christmas. You're like, I get 10, first come, first serve.
Right.
And you're like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, if you're on the top 10 page group and you're shy about posting or you're not sure if you should post, create an interaction, have fun, talk about stuff. As long as you're not doing anything offensive or evil or wrong.
Yeah, attacking somebody else.
Yeah, attack somebody. Then the page is all you guys creating interaction. Sometimes Matt and I will chime in if we can chime in and we catch it in time we're tagged. We'll do that. But we wanted to create the group so that you guys can interact with each other because we imagine you've come to the show because you like movies and you enjoy our banter. So let's have conversations about stuff. Put it up there and get to know your fellow fans. It's a lot of fun. And
it also informs us to what you guys are enjoying, what you're not enjoying. It just only helps educate us and make a better show for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So making your opinion heard over there is exactly what we want. And when we want you, I want people to differ with one another, and I want them to agree with one another, just as long as you're respectful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you log on there and you say, hey, Knost, you're an idiot because you didn't have blah, blah, blah on your list, we're like, okay, I will gladly take that. I have zero problem with that. If you say that, you go on there and you say, I am an idiot and should die because I don't have X, well, if I can't tell if there's a wink in there, we're going to be fighting, my friend.
That's right.
But at the same time, if I can tell that there's a wink, then by all means, fire away.
Bust balls
Fire away. You can say whatever you want. I do not care. And I don't believe John does either because so long as there's a hint of love, then it's fine. It's fine. But, be respectful of your fellow top teners, top tenionists, top tenonites, top whatever.
Someday we'll figure that out.
I don't know. I still like tenionists as if it's like
Tenionists?
Because it's communists. And I just like that it's a cult of personality and we're like the cult of personality leading it like a Maoist kind of. I like it. I like the red, the evocative iconography. There's a reason those things are successful.
But then there's a reason they always fail.
We will be the ones that succeed. That's why I like it.
Fair.
I like it. We're creating almost our own religion-ish kind of thing. I'm not sure what the tenets of that religion will be. Don't worry, guys. We'll get back to you.
We'll figure it out.
We will.
All right, we're running along. Thanks everyone for listening to this edition of Thunderdome. We really appreciate it, and as Matt said, participate in the group. Donate if you want to donate to the Patreon. And Matt, they can find Matt at Matt Knost.
Yep, MattKnost.
And you can find me at the Rocha Says, ROCHA, on Twitter and on Instagram. And we will talk to you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much.